Domingo German, who got ejected for using sticky shit on his fingers. He's the happiest guy in the world right now because he's like, nobody's talking about me. I'm just going to take a 10-day vacation.
Second happiest. The entire Mets organization is so happy with what's going on in the Yankees. You're right, Domingo. What the heck, man?
There it is. Got to show it because what's on his pants is not natural. What is that, first of all?
It looks like pine tar.
Tobacco.
You think so? Well, the where he had his thumb, that's just dirt from the balls because it gets on your fingers. And I used to get it in my glove and on my pants because I'd have my hand in my glove and it'd get dirty, so you just rub it on your pants. So I'd have that on my pants too. But where his thumb is, that's just dirt. But I don't know what the dark. I mean, tobacco. I mean, dip just sits on your pants like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you had it on your thumb, if you just threw a fresh hog in, I mean, and Mingo's got. I mean, he's got a big old. I mean, it's a big one, and so if he had just thrown one in, he could get it on his thumb and it wipes off. I have a hard time believing he's using pine tar.
Okay, let me ask this question for you: does he come across as after what happened his last start? And this is not a personal shot. This is an honest question. Does he come across as somebody that did a smart thing the last time he pitched and James Hoy was the umpire against Minnesota? Rocco Baldelli got ejected they let him wash his hands and do the whole get the stuff off. The next time he sees him in a game, the same umpiring crew, James Hoy said it was the stickiest, shiniest I've ever seen anybody's hand. So that just is not a smart thing to tempt fate with. You should have had someone in the Yankees organization, the pitching coach, Aaron Boone, whoever, Brad Wilkerson, if you want to ask him, I don't know who, say, hey, dude, do not have anything on your hands at all. And when I mean anything, I mean don't put rosin on your hands. Don't put a thing on your hands because guess what? These dudes are out for blood because you got them last time. People were all over him for him getting away with it last time. Guess what they weren't going to let him do this time? James Hoy and his crew weren't letting him get away with it the second time. And I don't care if it's dip. I don't care if it's pine tar. I don't care if you took a rosin bag and went, oh, I accidentally dropped it on my hand.
They said it wasn't rosin, too. That's the other quote from the crew chief, James Hoy. Quote, it's not rosin. It was definitely not rosin because I've felt hands with rosin. That wasn't rosin. It was extremely sticky, and rosin is usually kind of like a little tackiness. This was sticky, as in my fingers had a hard time coming off his palm. Now, we've seen demonstrations. We've talked about this ourselves. That's actually wrong, according to most pitchers that we've spoken to. You can get a lot of stickiness from the rosin and the sweat and the whole deal. So my question before we bring in our Blue Jays guest and keep going on this is, don't we have a serious league problem? Because Domingo German has made multiple starts since then. Do we really think he picked those 2 games to have sticky hands that cause him to get kicked out of a ball game, but the other starts he doesn't? He's just picking on James Hoy and his crew, who's looking at him. I think that umps all have different levels of stickiness, and they have no freaking clue what is on someone's hands, what constitutes stickiness or not. Like he's saying, rosiness doesn't have that stickiness to it. Yeah, it can. If it's hot enough and if they're putting enough rosin on there. Not saying that's the only thing he was using, but it just sounds like a lot of people are lost on this and the rules are broken on sticky stuff.
I don't think we here on the show have to get it right. All we have to do is see his reaction to it. To me, I feel like Scherzer did not feel like he did anything wrong based on his reaction. I feel like Mingo, based on his reaction, felt like he got caught. And I'm only viewing his body language, what he said, how he said it afterwards. And to me, the league is the source that needs to figure this out. And it has to lie in the spin rates. That's it. It's like the whole
his spin rates weren't up yesterday.
Yeah, his spin rates
weren't up yesterday.
Yeah, but he might be doing it all year. And then what's your baseline?
No.
How do you know that though?
I don't because umps have different ump checks.
No, I'm saying, but spin rates. Yeah, we can say spin rates, but if a guy's been using the same stuff his whole career, he stays inside that margin. How do we know?
But you're talking about a huge jump. If to correlate what Hoy said, what James Hoy said was, it's the stickiest that I've ever felt. It's never or it was not rosin because I felt rosin and this was something else and it was shiny. So to me, if you're using something, if you're like, holy cow, here we go. I got a Tyrus stick right here and I'm just putting Tyrus right on my fingers. This is going to get ripped. Like you're going to see at least 200, probably more like 300 RPM change in your pitches.
Yeah, but
And
that
he didn't
doesn't
have that.
But he wasn't. He wasn't. They said on the broadcast he was within 50 of his normal range.
Right.
So he was using the same stuff.
So that's what doesn't correlate to me.
You can't use spin rate because if he didn't use it his last start and he's in within 50,
But that's
spin rate doesn't work. There's got to be a better way.
That's the whole reason to get rid of the sticky stuff was because guys were illegally making the ball spin. And that's why they came up with it. And now they're just going by because is this going to just go up during the summer when everybody starts sweating like crazy? They put more rosin on. Oh, here we go. Another 10 games, lost another pitcher.